You keep waiting for life to calm down. That's the problem. You keep telling yourself that once this week passes, once the money improves, once your mind feels clearer, once you finally get motivated, then you'll become the man you were supposed to be. But look at your life carefully. The pressure never leaves. It just changes shape. One problem disappears, another one walks through the door wearing a different face. And deep down, you already know this. That's why you're tired all the time. Not physically, mentally, because a part of you keeps expecting life to become emotionally lighter. But it doesn't. It was never meant to be easy, and maybe nobody told you that clearly enough. Maybe you spent years believing struggle was temporary, that one day you'd finally arrive somewhere and feel peace, no confusion, no anxiety, no pressure sitting on your chest at 2 a.m., just certainty. But that moment never came, did it? Instead, your mind became noisier. You started overthinking everything. Every missed opportunity, every delay, every version of yourself you could have become.
You scroll for hours, trying to escape your own thoughts. You call it taking a break, but it isn't rest, it's avoidance. Because silence forces you to confront something uncomfortable. You are becoming someone you never intended to become. Not because you're incapable, because you're distracted, drained, emotionally scattered. You wake up tired, you procrastinate, you lose momentum, then you hate yourself for wasting another day. And the cycle repeats so many times, you stop trusting yourself. That's the part nobody talks about. The real damage of procrastination is not lost time, it's self-betrayal. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," your brain remembers. Every unfinished promise slowly teaches you, my words mean nothing. And eventually, you stop believing in yourself completely. Not in a dramatic way, quietly, subtly. You stop taking risks. Stop trying fully. Stop expecting much from yourself. Because disappointment hurts.
Until one day, you look at your own life and feel disconnected from it, like you're watching someone else live it. You know what's strange? Most people are not destroyed by tragedy. They are destroyed by convenience, because pain forces action. Comfort sedates. A man who loses everything usually changes. A man who stays comfortable slowly rots. That is the uncomfortable truth. You don't need another motivational quote. You need emotional honesty. You need to admit that some of your habits are not bad habits. They are escape routes. You distract yourself because reality feels heavy. You procrastinate because starting means confronting the possibility of failure. You stay inconsistent because discipline exposes how emotionally fragile you actually feel. Read that again. A lot of people are not lazy. They are emotionally overwhelmed. There's a difference. When your mind is exhausted, everything feels harder than it is. Even simple things. Getting out of bed, answering messages, going to the gym, making decisions. Because your nervous system is overloaded, and nobody sees it. That's why you feel alone in crowded rooms. You smile, you function, you joke around, but internally, you feel like your life is slipping through your hands, slowly. And the worst part is, you can still see your potential. You can still picture the person you could become, which makes the guilt even heavier. Because there comes a moment in every man's life where excuses stop sounding convincing, even to himself. And maybe you've reached that moment. Maybe you're finally exhausted by your own patterns, the overthinking, the inconsistency, the emotional dependence on motivation. Maybe you're starting to realize something. Your life will not transform because you suddenly feel confident. Confidence is unreliable. Mood is unreliable. Motivation is temporary. But standards change everything. Because standards don't ask, "How do I feel today?" Standards ask, Who am I becoming? That question changes people, because now every action has identity attached to it. Every decision becomes a vote, either for your future or against it. Every hour matters. Every routine matters. Every excuse matters. That sounds intense because it is. Your life is being built right now, whether you're paying attention or not. Most people wait for rock bottom before they change. But sometimes rock bottom is not poverty. Sometimes it's realizing you wasted years becoming average. And once that realization hits, sleep becomes different. You start thinking about time differently. You stop laughing at your own potential. You stop romanticizing comfort. You stop needing constant emotional validation to do basic things. Because you finally understand something powerful. Nobody is coming to rescue your future. Not your friends, not your family, not motivation, not luck. You. Only you. And strangely, that realization is freeing. Because the moment you fully accept responsibility, your mind becomes dangerous. Now your emotions no longer control your direction. Now you move because you decided to, not because you feel ready. That version of you is different. Calmer, sharper, more disciplined. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped negotiating with yourself every day. That's real growth. Real growth is boring sometimes. It's repetitive, quiet, invisible. It's waking up and doing what needs to be done while your mind screams for comfort. That is where self-respect is built. Not in massive breakthroughs, in private decisions, repeated consistently. Most people want the reward without becoming the person capable of sustaining it. That's why their progress collapses. Your habits reveal your identity, not your intentions. Everybody intends to change. Very few people restructure their life deeply enough to make change unavoidable. That requires sacrifice, and people hate that word because sacrifice feels unfair. But look closely at every meaningful life, every strong body, every disciplined mind, every respected person, every peaceful person. Something was sacrificed to build it. Time, comfort, ego, distraction, excuses. You cannot evolve while protecting the same behaviors destroying you. And maybe that's what you needed to hear. Not more positivity, clarity. Because your life is not falling apart randomly. Patterns create outcomes, repeated daily. That's all a life becomes in the end. Accumulated habits, accumulated decisions, accumulated standards. You are not one moment. You are repetition. And if repetition created your current life, repetition can rebuild it too. Slowly, day by day. That's the part social media never shows you. Transformation is usually quiet. No dramatic music, no perfect breakthrough, no overnight reinvention. Just a person getting tired of disappointing themselves again and again, until one day they finally stop running. That's the moment everything changes. Not externally, internally. Because once your mind learns, I do what I say I'm going to do, your entire identity begins shifting. Now discipline no longer feels like punishment. It feels like alignment. You trust yourself again. You respect yourself again. And honestly, that feeling is worth more than motivation ever was. So no, your life was never meant to be easy. But maybe it was meant to force something out of you. Strength, clarity, resilience, self-respect. Maybe the pressure wasn't there to destroy you. Maybe it was there to expose who you become when comfort stops carrying you. Because eventually, every distraction fades. Every excuse runs out. And all that remains is the person you chose to become when life got difficult. That person is being built right now. If this video felt uncomfortably personal, good. That means a part of you is finally waking up. Subscribe if you're serious about becoming someone your future self can respect. The question is, are you building him intentionally or accidentally?